So, following on from the live stream that I just did before this, I want to thank everyone who turned out for that. I had a total of 100 people in at one stage. That's probably the most I've ever had. I'm very, very grateful for that. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. But what do I want to talk about? Well, obviously, the new images. So, not wasting any time, I'm going to jump straight into it, get right to the point. We have Sensei Kim taking on what appears to be Tori and Devin. Now, this is something that I didn't actually notice until I looked at the image a bit more closely. I thought it was just Sensei Kim sort of just like standing looking cool. But then you realise it's Tori and Devin. Now, I think this season, the new Robby and Kenny dynamic is going to be Tori and Devin. I think these two fighting each other in the All Valley wasn't just because of the girls' divisions or whatever, but it was also to plant the seeds for a future story. Now, whether Devin stays in Cobra Kai is yet to be seen, but this very much confirms that from this point onwards, Eagle Fang is done. It's finished. And I remember talking a bit about this a while ago, saying that Eagle Fang really serves no purpose beyond being a fun gimmick. I think we are transitioning to that very black and white Karate Kid where these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. We have to root for these guys to beat these guys. I think that's what we're sort of entering now. And with Mike Barnes returning as well, and, you know, Alicia Hannah Kim's character, like, I think the story and the groundwork has been laid to really make a clear definition on who we're rooting for and who we're not. And it's going to be very interesting seeing Tori and Devin go up against this sensei. And it's going to be fascinating because we're at that point where the young the old teenagers growing into young adults are eventually getting to that transitional point where they're going to start taking on adults. Now, because of this character's heritage, I think she might lay both of them out on the floor, like within seconds. But it will be very interesting to see nonetheless. I'm looking forward to what this character has in store for us. And I like the fact that she's going to be a legacy type character that we've never met. That's cool. I like that. Moving on to the second image with Tori and Devin practicing. Now, I want to put this out there right away. No, Devin is not a spy. Like, if she is a spy, then I'll eat my words. I always say this. But Hawk was a spy apparently in Season 3, and someone was a spy last season. Like, can we stop this sensational malarkey of every time someone switches a dojo, they're a spy? Like, you have to look at it from this context. Eagle Fang isn't around. Johnny's focus is Robby and Miguel. That's his focus. As far as where Mitch and whoever go, Mitch is clearly ending up at Miyagi-Do, and Devin's clearly thinking, okay, I'll just have a little look around. It wouldn't surprise me if Kenny, while handing out flyers, catches Devin's interest, and then she's like, you know what, Nichols was there, she's the champion. Maybe it could follow a similar story where maybe Devin looks up to Tori, you know, maybe it gives her like that sort of older, you know, sort of sister to look up to. It could really play into that kind of dynamic. So no, she isn't a traitor. She was in Eagle Fang for 2 seconds, and she was in the karate picture for like 5 minutes. Like, let's calm it down a little bit. Next image, we've got something that I absolutely freaking love. Now, I've seen the description for this, and it says that Johnny and Robby celebrate a victory. Now, the first time I saw this image, I thought they would be could be cheering for Miguel potentially, because it's if you look at the background, it's Piñas Locas and all that kind of all that stuff. So it's definitely down south. But maybe this is before they meet Miguel or whatever, and this is just a moment that Johnny and Robby have together, father and son, finally just having a moment to themselves where they have fun as father and son. And in Season 1, Robby was like, well, I had no idea what a real father-son trip looked like, so I had to use my imagination. Well, now he's going to get one. Now he's going to get that trip. Now, obviously, it leads to Miguel, but at the same time, the opportunities for Robby and Johnny to bond are very much there now. And I think we are moving again into that transitional time in the show. Characters are going to stop switching between dojos, as I'll get to in a later image that I absolutely owe. And yeah, it's just a really cool image. I love it. It's just nice to see Johnny and Robby in the same frame having fun, you know, and this is something that I've wanted for a while. So this is a really cool moment for me personally, and I'm really looking forward to where this is going to go from here. The next image, Daniel gets some R&R. He's literally just chilling, sipping on something. I don't think this is a victory drink of sorts. I think this is just him relaxing. The LaRussos have had a bit of a rough couple of years now. This is just time for him to unwind. It's probably just him and Amanda just, you know, chilling and soaking up a bit of sun and sea and whatever else. And just having a bit of fun. You know, that's pretty much all it is. I don't have anything more to say. I've already seen people say, oh, this is Daniel scheming his evil schemes. Like, let's not over speculate. Let's just keep it within reason. Next image, we've got Kenny and Kyla front and center. And we've got like the regular sort of recurring Cobra Kai characters. Now, for Kenny, he could very well be the new face of Cobra Kai. He could very well be. He's young, but he could really morph himself into an absolute beast. And he's quite young, but he's fast, he's deadly, and regardless of plot or whatever, he still managed to land a good hit on Robby. So don't be surprised if something really good is in store for him. I think Kyla could just be destined to stay in Cobra Kai because he's that kind of character, as much as I want the I'm gonna redeem Rhea movement to happen. But I think in this kind of frame that we've got here, Kenny is focused, he's determined, and with a later image in context, it wouldn't surprise me if Kenny has resentment and anger towards Robby, to the point where Silver uses that to say, hey, Robby left you here. He's gone and buggered off. He's gone and joined the enemy. Like, you know, Silver could do that. He could manipulate Kenny, and then it puts Robby in the same position that he's put everyone else in. But yeah, RJ, you're coming home, sir. Next shot. Next shot, we have Carmen and Amanda answering the phone, and the description reads an ominous phone call. This could be a phone call about news, or maybe it's that they found Miguel. Maybe it's something like that, saying, hey, Miguel. But they are very dressed up for the occasion. It could be something that is sort of akin to the phone call in Season 3, where Kreese called up Amanda and Daniel. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe a situation where someone's gotten hurt. Maybe a situation where someone's come home, or maybe just a situation where there is a threat at play and someone's in danger. You know, it could be something like that. The dresses look great. I like the way this image is shot, and a lot of these will look different in the show. That's because they have photographers who take still images on the side of the set to capture a full image, and that's why it always looks different to what you see in the show. But I'm very fascinated to see what this individual shot means. I don't really have too much to say on it other than that. Now, Amanda and Silver. Now, with this image, the thing that perplexes me here is, no, Amanda is not cheating on Daniel with Silver. Let's quash that immediately. It could just be a business function or something like that, and Silver's trying to work his charm and do whatever. And then it results in the slap that was heard around the world, where Amanda smacked the crap out of Kreese. Maybe she does Mark 2 on Silver. Maybe. You never know. Could be. But I think in this scene, Silver's going to be working his charm. He's going to be using all of his glitz and glamour and his swag and his charisma, maybe to try and reel his way in, you know, maybe as his way of making a peace offering, Karate Kid 3 style. But as you know, nothing's for free, and whatever he's doing here, it's not Amanda's first rodeo, so she'll probably just say, look, I've had enough of this shit. Leave me alone with this karate gang nonsense. To our next image, we have arguably the best and the most hype image out of the bunch. As soon as I saw Eli, and then just to the side, I saw Robby Keane. This fills me with pleasure, and it's not about being right in your theories, it's about having fun. But I've been saying since day one, Robby will come back to Miyagi-Do. It's always been there. It's been there the whole time. It was even said by Johnny himself. You had a good thing going with the Russo, and then I got in the way of that. Like, Miyagi-Do was so key to Robby in the first 2 seasons. They didn't give him those 2 seasons for nothing. And then in Season 4, Dimitri said, or he who shall not be named rhymes with Dobby. So it essentially confirms Robby rejoins Miyagi-Do. Now, what does that mean for him and Johnny? Well, I'll tell you. Johnny will be at Miyagi-Do as well. One united dojo. I think it's going to happen. I think it's the most likely thing. Now, Miguel isn't in this image, but I don't think that's a cause for panic. I don't think that's a cause for, oh, he's going to turn to the dark side and go evil. That completely goes against everything that Miguel's character stands for. And I've talked about this a lot, but when Robby joined Cobra Kai in Season 3, I don't want that to be undone. I want that to be a real moment, like the climax of a show where you're like, oh shit, this is bad. You know, I don't want every character to have a moment like that because it devalues previous moments. You want the other characters to have something more meaningful. What if, for instance, the squad that you see in this picture is pretty much Avengers Infinity War, and then when they're all down and out, then Miguel arrives in the fray, and then he's like, hey, yo, I'm basically Thor in Wakanda, but this time in Miyagi-Do. What's up? Like, it could literally just be that. It could literally just be that. But this is great, and I think this is Miyagi-Do 2.0, and seeing how far these characters have all come, and seeing Eli and Robby on the same team is not only jarring, it's downright freaking awesome. And then you've got Anthony in the middle, who I think we'll be rooting for a lot this season. I think people will be really on Anthony's side of the fence. Last season we were all for Kenny, but I think this season we'll be on Anthony's side, and I think we'll really be rooting for him to overcome fear, now that Kenny is definitely 100% going to be an absolute monster. And I think Dimitri's definitely happy as well, because, I mean, Robby defended Dimitri, and Dimitri and Robby had a little thing, and then, you know, what I mean by that is in the All Valley, when Robby and Dimitri are fighting, Robby smirks at Dimitri. It's like he's proud of him, you know. You could really delve into that a little bit more. You could really delve into maybe Eli looking out for Anthony. You could have Sam and Anthony sort of training. You never know. And it's just nice to see all the kids happy and bowing. I really like it, you know. It's just a great moment. It's just a great moment. Now, this next image, I talked about this a lot in the live stream. I said that Tori is going to be akin to what Starlight was in The Boys in the first season, where she was being used as a marketing promotional piece. Now, we know that Silver is upping the advertising, he's upping the marketing, and he's really making Cobra Kai not just a karate dojo anymore, a corporate empire. That's basically what he's doing. And I think Tori, throughout the first half of the season, is going to be plastered as the poster girl of Cobra Kai, Queen Cobra herself, and essentially is going to challenge Silver and say, hey, what is this? You're shoving me in people's faces saying I'm the champion, but I didn't win this, you paid for it. And then Silver will be like, you think the LaRussos paid for, like, he'll flip it. He'll use an analogy to get at her and just, you know, pry at her insecurities and her weaknesses. And in that, what he may do is he'll threaten her mum. He'll threaten her mum and little Brandon if she doesn't comply. Now, in the earlier seasons, I would have said this would have never happened. But Silver is a different kind of villain. And this is what I was saying before Silver was brought in. Kreese is one thing. Silver is another. And in Karate Kid 3, Silver was a madman. Whether he was hopped up on the juice or not, he was mad. This time he has a personal vendetta. It's personal. Beforehand it was just tormenting a teenager and an old man. This is a personal load of business for him now. And he's going to absolutely treat it as such. And it's going to come across in the way he uses Kenny to get at Robby, the way he probably fights Johnny again and probably hurts him, or Chosen or Daniel or whoever, and then uses Tori, the same way Kreese used Hawk in Season 2 and 3. It's going to be a similar kind of thing, but on another level. And then when Tori challenges him, he'll force her to do the Quicksilver method. You know, he'll start hurting her, you know, not directly, but put her in front of the wooden dummy and then go to work, Tori. That's basically what's going to happen. And I think Tori will have a great arc this season. I think it'll be even sweeter when she joins the good guys, because it's not going to be a choice that's done lightly. It's going to be a choice that the whole season pushes her to make. And I think when push comes to shove, she will choose her side. Just imagine this. If she scorned Hawk for being a traitor and Miguel for being a traitor, just imagine how poetic it would be. The ending of Season 5, there's a massive Miyagi-Do backyard fight, right? Organized by the Cobras. And then Tori has a Hawk moment and switches sides. Just throwing that out there. You heard it here first. Now, next image. We've got Miguel and Robby bonding. Now, we know through other images on Instagram and whatever else that Peyton and Mary were at like a similar kind of setting. So maybe this could be an environment where Johnny's trying to bond everyone and whatnot. And it's hard to say, you know, what will happen between Miguel and Robby. But in this image, just for shits and giggles, he's like, yo, you got abs. It's in this moment, he's like, yeah, you're definitely your father's son showing off your abs all over the place. But I'm fascinated to see how this Bonding dynamic goes. I've talked a lot about this Bonding dynamic at extreme length, so I'm not going to bore you guys with saying the same old drivel that I've always said. But I am looking forward to this, and there's a moment here where they're both giving each other the eye like they're in competition. And it pretty much says to me that these two get in a bit of a scuff. They get in a fight at the pool. The lifeguard tries to he thinks they're drowning. He's like, you guys are fighting? What the hell? I thought you were drowning. Separates them, gets them out the pool, and then basically says, right, you two, get out of here. Off you go. And then that leads to the whole scene in the trailer. It's like, hey, we are not friends, and we never will be. Like, it leads straight into that. The next image is Mike Barnes. Your karate's a joke. Now, we need villains, correct? We need villains. I've heard that so many times. We need villains, we need villains, we need villains. So, Silver, Kim, Mike, you've got the makings of an empire there. And I think Mike is definitely going to have a big role in things going forward. And I think we're going to get that fan fight that we've always wanted, Johnny versus Mike, just to see it play out. Like, if you were a huge fan of the original trilogy of The Karate Kid, you are probably living a wet dream right now. Like, seeing all these characters interact in these dream matchups, you know, even if some are just for a few seconds, it must be just a dream come true. Like, it's got to be great for kids of the 80s to just be like, wow, this is awesome. Now, as to where he's introduced in the season, I would say in the latter half. I don't think it's going to be an instantaneous thing. But if it was an instantaneous thing, I wouldn't mind seeing a montage of Silver going around recruiting like he's like Stallone from The Expendables. He's just going and recruiting a different bunch of people. And in this shot, you can see a shadow figure at the front of the picture. I think that's Silver going to him and saying, hey, look, it's time. You still promise me 50%? You bet your ass. Like, it's right there. It's right there. I mean, we knew Mike was going to come back at some stage. It was just a case of when, not if. And, you know, I'm happy to see it. I can't wait to see what the writers give Sean Kanan to work with this season for Mike. And what grey moral centre they give him. Now, does that mean he'll redeem? No, I'm not saying that. But, like, what kind of conflicting morals could they give him? Maybe, you know, clearly you can see the ring on his finger that he's a married man. Maybe there's some things that have changed over the years about Mike. We will see. And the final image is Johnny, Daniel, and Chosen all together in unison as a trio. And oh my god, like this is ridiculous. Like, this is the main students of all the Karate Kid movies. You've got Daniel, the student of Miyagi. You've got the student of Sato. You've got the student of Kreese. Like, this is absolutely freaking awesome. I love this. And seeing the dynamic of all three of them together is going to be great. Absolutely great. Chosen and Johnny will probably have scenes where they're bullying Daniel. Chosen and Johnny will get along quite well because they both like going on offense. And the thing is, Johnny's problem has been Miyagi-Do's defense is too much. You need offense. Well, enter Chosen. So, you know. And as far as this image and the people surrounding them in the background, I'm not too sure. It could just be a bunch of people getting together saying, hey, there should be a rematch or a refight or something. Maybe they speak to the committee and say, hey, you know what? Let's have a rematch at Miyagi-Do to see who is the real winner. Maybe Sam and Tori are having a rematch in Miyagi-Do to do whatever. But by that point, Tori will just want to hand the trophy over to Sam. And what I think could happen is maybe Sam would say, no, I want to earn it, not be given it. And Tori will be like, well, I didn't earn this either. And then they both duke it out, and Tori still wins. I would actually have that. I would have Tori still win the potential rematch anyway, because I think Sam and Robby should be saved for much bigger title wins going forward. If it goes where I think it's going to go in terms of a national stage, where I think both the legacy characters, the bloodline characters, should both win at the same time. I think it would be interesting for Tori to fully win it herself. That way you carry on her season 4 arc, and that way Sam loses in a fair fight. And it's, there's no blood between it. It's just like, okay, fair enough, you're alright, shake hand, bow, problem solved. But yeah, that's pretty much the cliff notes of me in these images. I did a whole 2-hour live stream before this, talking about it in length for 2 hours. So if you haven't checked that out, go watch it. Guys and girls, let me know what you think of these images down below in the comment section. And yeah, man, season 5 is just a month away. Cannot wait. In terms of a watch party to it, I'm not too sure. I'm undecided. I might do it, but we'll see. We'll see. Guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below, and I will see you all in another video soon. Also, my what to expect from Sam in season 5 video will upload a day from this, but please keep in mind it was recorded before these images dropped.